The atmosphere in the studio was cheerful as the Kelly Clarkson show opened with applause. Kelly, all smiles, welcomed country music legend Trisha Yearwood to the stage. The audience rose to their feet, honoring her decades-long career. At first, the tone was light, stories about touring, cooking, and her long-standing marriage to Garth Brooks. But beneath the surface, there was a quiet intensity in Trisha's eyes, as if she came prepared for more than a casual chat. The shift happened when Kelly brought up a recent viral clip in which Trisha made comments about modern country artists abandoning the heart of country music. Kelly read fan reactions aloud, some supportive, others calling her out of touch. Trisha's smile faded. She folded her hands calmly, but her voice took on a sharper edge. "I've earned the right to speak on what's happening to our genre," she said. "Country music used to be about storytelling. Now it's about algorithms." Kelly tried to gently counter, suggesting that music evolves with each generation. But Trisha was unmoved. "Evolution is fine," she said, "erasing our roots is not." The audience murmured. Some nodded in agreement, others sat in uncomfortable silence. Kelly, sensing the rising tension, shifted forward in her chair, ready to respond, but Trisha was already leaning in, setting the tone for what would become one of the most intense interviews ever aired on daytime television. Kelly crossed her legs, keeping her tone light but intentional. "But Trisha," she said, "you've inspired a whole generation of artists who are just trying to find their own sound. Isn't that part of the legacy you built?" Instead of softening, Trisha straightened in her seat. "Legacy means responsibility," she replied firmly. "Some of these artists are using the country label just to sell records. They don't live it. They don't breathe it. They're not from it." The audience gasped. Kelly, clearly taken aback, attempted to play mediator. "But music belongs to everyone," she countered. "We can't define a person's authenticity by where they were born." Trisha's jaw tightened. "This isn't about birthplace. It's about truth." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The cameras zoomed in. The audience watched, frozen. The energy shifted from casual interview to cultural courtroom. Kelly, maintaining professionalism, offered Trisha a chance to elaborate, but Trisha instead shifted in her chair, looking directly into the audience. "If speaking the truth makes people uncomfortable," she said slowly, "maybe that says more about them than it does about me." A murmur rolled through the room as Kelly forced a smile. The commercial break couldn't come soon enough, but there was no turning back. When the show resumed, the tension was palpable. Kelly attempted to reset the mood by thanking Trisha for her influence and mentioning her philanthropic work. But Trisha wasn't done. "Kelly," she said, "the problem is, too many hosts and platforms are afraid to call out what's happening. The industry is being reshaped by people who care more about fame than music." Kelly's smile dropped. "Are you saying I'm afraid to speak the truth?" The crowd let out a collective gasp. Trisha hesitated only for a second before answering. "I'm saying platforms like this avoid real conversations in favor of feel-good moments. But the truth isn't always pretty." Kelly leaned forward now, her tone firm. "This show uplifts artists, old and new. We're not here to tear anyone down." "Sometimes tearing down is exactly what needs to happen," Trisha fired back. "If something is broken, you don't decorate it. You fix it." The temperature in the room rose instantly. Kelly's producer could be seen gesturing behind the cameras. But Kelly held her ground, refusing to back down. Audience members began reacting, some clapping for Trisha's fiery honesty, others shouting Kelly's name in support. A woman in the front row stood up and said, "We love both of you," but was quickly drowned out by whispers and reactions. Kelly, maintaining composure, took a deep breath. "Trisha, with all due respect, I built this platform from a place of inclusion. Artists come here to be celebrated, not judged." Trisha placed her hands on the armrests of her chair, leaning slightly forward. "Celebration without accountability becomes complacency." Kelly responded, "Accountability is fine. But don't confuse different with lesser." That line hit a nerve. "Different," Trisha repeated, her eyes narrowing. "Is that what we're calling manufactured music written by committees and AI songwriters?" The room exploded in chatter. Kelly's tone sharpened. "Are you accusing your fellow artists of using AI to write songs?" Trisha paused, then said slowly, "I'm accusing people of pretending to tell real stories when they're selling fabricated emotions." This was no longer just an interview, it was a reckoning. Kelly's expression hardened. Trisha, this feels personal. Are you here to promote your new album, or attack an entire industry? Trisha stood up slowly, smoothing her jacket. I'm here to remind the world what country music is supposed to be. If that offends people, so be it. Kelly rose too, shocked. Walking out won't make your point stronger. Trisha turned to her and said, calm but cutting, sometimes walking away is the only way to show you won't be silenced. The audience gasped as Trisha stepped off the stage. Cameras tried to follow, but producers cut to a stunned Kelly Clarkson, left standing alone. There was silence. Not applause. Not outrage. Just silence. Kelly took a breath, steadying herself. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Twitter exploded within minutes. Clips went viral. Fans were divided. But one thing was certain, daytime television had never seen anything like it. And the world was left asking, was she brave, or had she gone too far?